So we're continuing our discussion of the Database Upside Genie, which takes a desktop application that uses DBF files and upsizes it so that it can now use SQL tables for the back end. So at this point now, the database, the SQL database has been created, all the tables have been created, and the database has been exported. So if we go here to SQL Server Management Studio and do a refresh now, we can see here are all the tables that were created, and here's all the data. So for example, if we go here and say edit top 200 rows in the Management Studio, we get to see here all of the data that was exported from the native DBF tables. So now let's carry on. So we'll now click this button over here, which will then close down the current database that we're working on and switch to the upsized version of Alpha Sports. So we'll go ahead there and click the button, and you can see now that we're now using an upsized version of Alpha Sports. If I were to go back to the control panel now, you can see now that all of the tables here have this little icon here, which means that these are now active link tables. And so now we're going against SQL Server right now. So if we were to, for example, go to the edit customer information form and open up this form, this is now going against SQL Server. And you can see here, if I go here and change this to Smith and then save that data and then switch over to SQL Server and look at customer number ID 1, let's go over here and close. Let's basically just open up another instance of this. So select top 2,000 rows. So there's Michael Smith. So you can see here that we're clearly making edits now against the SQL Server database. So let's go back now to the desktop application over here, and let's go back and actually bring up our main menu over there. And let's take a look now at some of the other forms in the application. So now let's go ahead, say for example here, and open up the invoices form. Now this is a form that is based on a set. You can see here that that our set structure is invoice header to customers, invoice items to product to vendors. So we've got here a set that is joining 5 different active link tables, but this data here is all coming out of SQL Server. So taking an existing DBF application and upsizing it to use a SQL backend is now pretty easy. It's the Genie does all of the work for you, and the benefits of upsizing to a SQL backend are many. You know, SQL backends are going to be a much more robust data store than DBFs. You can have many more users sharing an application simultaneously compared with using DBF as a backend. You can do much easier sharing, have multi-user applications where some of the users are not on the LAN but are connected, say through a VPN, or even just using an IP network to get to some data on a shared SQL Server database that might be even in the cloud. So there are a lot of benefits in upsizing an application to a SQL backend, and the Upsizing Genie makes it really easy. Thank you very much.